The Summer I Turned Pretty has officially wrapped its season 3, and wow, what a finale it turned out to be. The only thing is, based on the books, we know that there are still many things that are waiting to be told. In other words, this story might be far from being over. So let's talk about it. First things first, if you've always believed that first love matters, that Belly would end up with the first boy she ever slow danced with and cried over, then the finale was everything. But if you're Team Jeremiah, this one might sting a little because Belly finally chose Conrad Fisher. But let me track back a bit. Finally, in Paris, Conrad showed up on Belly's doorstep, hoping to reconnect, while she and Benito pulled up on their little red moped. At first, she wasn't thrilled to see him, but she still agreed to spend the day with him before his train to Brussels. From there, we followed them as Belly played tour guide, even dragging him all the way out to Versailles. At one point, Conrad told her he wanted to see Paris through her eyes, and Belly knew just the right place to take him. That rooftop moment where they finally opened up to each other after more than a year apart was so emotional. Belly admitted that Paris helped her find herself, and Conrad, instead of being bitter, just encouraged her. Later, when she got ready for her birthday dinner in a little black dress and asked Conrad to help with her jewelry, it was such a soft, intimate moment, the kind of thing Jenny Han does so well. The dinner scene was, however, quite tense in the best way possible. Benito gave Belly a photo of her tangled in bedsheets, which left Conrad rattled, and then her friends started grilling him about his role in the downfall of Belly and Jeremiah's relationship. But it was also the moment we finally learned Belly had shut down Benito's offer to go to Mexico and broken up with him. That opened the door wide for her and Conrad to finally find their way back to each other. Those Paris moments gave us some of the most beautiful callbacks. Belly wore Conrad's jacket, they strolled along the Seine, and eventually they danced under the moonlight by the river. As we all know, the last time they danced in that infamous prom ended in heartbreak, but this time it felt healing. Belly admitted that Conrad's letters over the past year had helped keep her grounded, but she still questioned if their love was real, or if it was just tied up with Susanna. That's when Conrad gave us one of the most powerful lines of the series. "I have tried everything not to love you. The way that I feel about you has nothing to do with my mom. If I met you for the first time tonight, I would still love you. I don't know about you guys, but it completely broke me." And still, Belly hesitated. She wished she could be as sure as him, and when he finally whispered, "Happy birthday, Belly," and left for his train, it felt like heartbreak all over again. But then came the moment that had every Bonrad fan screaming at their screens, including me. Belly showed up at the station at 5 a.m., wearing that infinity necklace he'd given her years ago, and told him, "I choose you of my own free will. There are infinite worlds. Every one of me chooses you in every one of them." Finally, after 3 seasons of heartbreak and near misses, they were together. And when they walked into the cousins' beach house hand in hand, it was the ending we'd been waiting for. Jenny Han filled the finale with callbacks and little gifts for us, the fans who have been dissecting every scene from the very beginning. The cherries in Belly's Paris apartment, her return to cousins, the way she looked back at her younger self and realized how much she'd grown. And then the Christmas picture book epilogue. It wasn't the wedding some of us dreamed of, but it was beautiful in its own quiet way. Seeing Belly and Conrad spend Christmas together in Paris felt like the sweetest reward, a reminder that their love wasn't just for one summer, it would last through every season. And I have to admit, through it all, Jeremiah wasn't turned into a villain. I mean, I know many of you guys hate him, but let's admit it, his heartbreak was real, his vulnerability was raw, and Jenny gave him the redemption he deserved. Of course, there are still some things I'm sure we won't be able to stop talking about, like the fact that we never got to see everyone find out Jeremiah cheated on Belly, and Steven, who's always been the protective older brother, never got to react to it or apologize to Conrad for how harsh he was with him. That confrontation never came, And maybe it's something we'll always wonder about. I will wonder about it for sure. But despite that, the finale stayed true to the books while still surprising those who thought they knew exactly how it would end. Jenny Han gave us so many intimate details, paired with the perfect Taylor Swift tracks, and made it all feel like the kind of story we'll never forget. Now, the hard part, this really is the end. Jenny Han has made it clear that there won't be a season 4, simply because there's no more source material left to adapt. She said, 3 books, 3 seasons. It feels right to me. In another interview, she said, doing what I think is best for the story has always been my North Star, and the story to me fit for these 3 seasons. I appreciate that Prime Video execs respected that. To be able to say when, to be able to call it, is rare when something is doing well and making people money. But I have to be true to myself and what I think is best for the story. Honestly, I think that makes it even more special. Not many creators get to end their stories on their own terms, but Han did, and she gave us an ending that felt right. That said, she hasn't completely closed the door. She told the LA Times, I'm definitely open to doing more stories in the universe. It's just that I want to figure out what the story is that I feel so compelled to tell it that I'm willing to spend the next few years throwing my whole body into it. So, while season 4 isn't happening, who knows? We might still return to Cousins one day. Maybe through a prequel, maybe through a spin-off. And as Han teased, maybe we'll meet once again in Cousins. Personally, I am dying to see the wedding of Belly and Conrad and then explore their relationship with Jeremiah when they become a true family with children. And yes, a movie special would be the best way to go instead of season 4 for this purpose. But we will see. For more weekly updates on The Summer I Turned Pretty and other Amazon Prime shows, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.